Good Friday morning, everyone. Welcome back. You are watching the Kaiser Report. Kaiser and I are here to tell you happy spring. It is springing today at 10:45 a.m. is the official start of spring. We're all looking forward to the holidays that are upcoming, both the Hanukkah holidays and the Easter holidays that we'll celebrate. Congress is very anxious to get the Senate out on their Easter break, and I think that Thune has maybe grown a set and told them that he may have to cancel their Easter holidays. Much to the chagrin of a lot of the Democrats that have already made plans for their family vacations and such, they're not real happy about it in any way, shape, or form. The Democrats have been holding us hostage here on this SAVE Act bill, which is pure and simple an attempt to get this bill canceled so they can continue the voter fraud that they have benefited from for so long now. It's hard to believe when you look around Congress and then you look into the streets. Instead of being in the House of Representatives and on the Senate floor making good progress on this, you have Hakeem Jeffries out on steps and Schumer out on steps yelling and screaming Jim Crow 2.0. How many times are we going to have to listen to Schumer come up with that kind of nonsense?
Sell crazy someplace else. We're all stocked up here.
It has nothing to do with Jim Crow. It's pure and simple. They do not want the voter rolls culled from people that, for one reason or another, should not be on those rolls. Never mind voting. The dead people that are on those rolls that are voting, God bless them, they must have superpowers to rise from the grave to come and pass their vote. Or maybe they just mail them in from the cemetery post office. It's magical in any way you shape or form you look at it. It's been getting done. It's time to put an end to these things, and it's time also to stop listening to politicians that are there for one reason, and when they tell you all about the American people want this and the American people want that, it has nothing to do with it in most cases. It's what that particular politician wants in his pork barrel of things that he can go run for re-election and say, look what I've done for you. Look what Hochul has done in New York as far as driving people to Florida, Texas, Tennessee, you name it. They are fleeing New York. There is no doubt about it. And then yesterday, she's on the stump circuit again, saying that please come back. They're not coming back, their beaver teeth. They're not. You told them to leave, they left, and they're not coming back. Your mayor in New York, Ma'am Danny, is a socialist, and he is going to use socialistic tactics and communistic tactics to rail the rest of taxpayers out of New York if he's allowed to keep up with the programs that he is coming out with lately. The travesty of him showing up at the St. Patrick's Day parade and then talking about freeing Muslims through it was sacrilegious in itself, in my estimation. But he does these things with a grin that looks like a jackass eating briars, as they say in these parts. The grin is not going to get him any further than it's gotten him already, unless the rest of the crooked government we have pushes him into the limelight for a second run at something else, which wouldn't surprise me given the fact that James Carville has lost his mind down there in Louisiana and probably has a plan for that. We'll see how that goes. But in the long and short of things, Schumer, this guy is so far past his retirement date. It's incredible. Someone please get him a wheelchair. He's so slumped over his podium where he has to read someone else's words, which are mostly lies. But he managed to stick his foot in his mouth great the other day. And let's just take a listen at that.
They are trying to dupe us, folks. They are trying to dupe America. They say, oh, this is just a voter ID law. Bullshit.
Oh, watch your language, Mr. Dirty Mouth.
It is not a voter ID law. It is a law that will kick millions of Americans off the voting rolls.
You haven't changed a bit, have you?
Everywhere people go, they're asked for a Social Security card. In fact, one way to prove you're a bona fide person who can have a job is to ask for a driver's license and a Social Security card. This is an anti-fraud amendment.
This is an anti-fraud amendment.
Who the hell is that?
This is suppression. A MAGA power grab that could disenfranchise more than 20 million American citizens. Because what's the core of the bill?
This is an anti-fraud amendment.
The core of the bill is handing the voter rolls over to DHS, putting them through an algorithm designed by Moj and Musk.
Brain damage. He's got brain damage and doesn't even know it.
That supposedly knocks out illegal immigrants from voting. But the evidence is almost no illegal immigrants vote.
The evidence is almost no illegal immigrants vote.
Almost.
And on an experiment in a county in Missouri, more than half the people knocked out were American citizens.
More than half the people knocked out were American citizens.
Using this algorithm.
That is interesting, isn't it?
Jim Crow 2.0. It's Jim Crow 2.0. Jim Crow 2.0. Jim Crow 2. It's Jim Crow. Jim Crow.
Almost no illegal immigrants vote.
This is an anti-fraud amendment.
More than half the people knocked out were American citizens.
Keep going. You know what? You look really good with your foot stuck in your mouth like that.
Yeah, the SAVE Act. It's not about, what they think it is. Tell us what it is, Chuck. And as far as not funding the TSA and things that need to be funded because we have terrorist cells around here and we happen to be in a war. But that flew right past you and Rand Paul and everybody else that sits in judgment of a president instead of working with the president. If you have different ideas, call a meeting. Meet with the president. Don't shun the president. And don't give the president a bill of goods that he can see through that causes him to kick you out of the Oval Office. This is where you and Hakeem Jeffries go wrong. And you go wrong in that space often. And it has to come to a little bit of an abbreviated end. And it needs to come to it fast before someone loses a town, a life, or even worse, a school to a terrorist attack in this country while you guys are holding up their paychecks of the people who will prevent it. All of a sudden now you guys are talking about maybe trying to get a paycheck to a TSA. This is because you guys want to go home for Easter. There's no other reason that you would even bring it up. Because you have been cut off the bypass line that you run onto your airline and not have to go through that. You get special privileges. It's like Obamacare. You don't have Obamacare. You have the best health services known to man in this country as a House of Representative or a senator in this country. You should be ashamed of yourself, and I think someone needs to pass a law that you all need to go on Obamacare because you love it so much. And I think that until the TSA and the SAVE Act is passed and people are being paid, there should be a moratorium on you flying anywhere. They're overburdened enough now with a skeleton crew because they're working without a paycheck. And yet you want to run and get on your airplane to go home for your big Passover or Easter celebration, whatever it is that you're running home for another vacation for. But if I were in charge of transportation, Mr. Duffy, I would put them on a no-fly list, each and every one of them, until they get this SAVE Act passed. There's no way they should be getting on an airplane in front of anybody else. First of all, they don't deserve the vacations that they get. They do nothing. They'll come out on the steps and tell you how hard they're working for the American public. That is a crock of bull, and we know that, and we've watched it take place for far too long. So let's start putting some restrictions on the benefits that these morons enjoy every day while the public that pays their salary has to suffer and pay taxes for them to use as personal slush funds. It's over now. We have a president that's on to you. The reason that the orange man bad is so hated is very simple. He's on to your game. And when your game comes to a screeching halt, so does your wallets. And this is why you want to hold things up. That plus the fact that you will never win another election on the Democratic side if you take away all of the cheat that takes place in every election that you so aptly win without any reason to be winning. You bring no platform to the table. You still have no platform. You still have no plan. Your big plan is to get Donald Trump at all costs, and how is that working out for you all? I don't think it is. You may be puffed up at the podium, but he is making things happen. And the things that are happening are going to benefit this country. We're in a little bit of a blip right now. And if you all had done your work for the last 20, 40, 50 years of some people sitting in Congress, had taken care of the terror threat that existed, we wouldn't be in this position. Donald Trump may not even have been president on either elections because things would have been peaceful and back to normality in this country as it was after our fathers came back from World War II. There is prosperity that is on the horizon right now. We, the people, see it. Look at the poll numbers that are going on. MS Now lied their rear end off about how bad Maga was falling apart, and the other morons on the legacy channels all said the same thing. And then CNN just the other day came out with the real numbers. 100%. But yet they'll continue to tell you that MAGA's in trouble. Donald Trump's in trouble. I'll tell you who's in trouble, that should be in trouble. Tim Walz, Gavin Newsom, and all of the people under them that allowed the massive fraud of billions and billions of dollars to be taken from our taxpayer rolls that should have been used for housing. It should have been used for better education, not indoctrination. And it also would have helped when you look at the fact that $81,000 per person is being spent on the homeless in New York. Those dollars that were skited out of this country by Somalian pirates And who knows what other Armenian methods of getting rid of their ill-gotten gains took place during the California incident and the Russian mob. It's really nice if you're out of work here, folks. Here's what you do: you just go down to your local municipal building and get a permit to have a daycare center, and stick it on your front door and turn on the TV, relax, because there are no children there, but you can make $1 million a year if you say you have 40 of them. This is what was allowed to happen under the Biden watch, and the governmental governors and state attorney generals that never bothered to look into what was taking place. And then MS Now comes out and tells you that, the MAGA regime is falling apart. Make America Great Again is not a regime. It is a movement. And it's a movement that is coming down that hill like a freight train. And if you step in the way long enough, you're going to get run over by that train. And let's look at MS Now, how they lie, and then let's look at the CNN report that actually had someone on there to tell you the truth.
So, Tara, that new NBC News poll shows Trump is losing support from some of his most ardent supporters. Trump's strong approval rating among those who consider themselves MAGA Republicans is at 70%. It was 78% in April.
That power is starting to break. We're seeing this happen. Trump is losing his grip on the MAGA movement as well as the Republican Party.
Dread it, run from it, destiny arrives all the same.
Is there a growing divide happening in MAGA world? CNN chief data analyst Harry Enden joining me now. So how are you seeing MAGA feel about the president right now?
Yeah, sometimes you look at the polling data and there are numbers that just jump off the screen at you. And this is one of those. Because just take a look here. MAGA GOP view of Trump. Approve 100%. 100%. If you are a member of MAGA in the GOP, you approve of Donald John Trump. 0% say that they disapprove. You don't have to be a mathematical genius to know you can't go higher than 100%. He is the 1972 Miami Dolphins. Now, there are some Republicans who disapprove of Donald John Trump, but they are not members of the Make America Great Again movement. The bottom line is this: if you are a member of MAGA, you approve of Donald Trump. I mean, I've heard some people say, when you look at those MAGA numbers, it doesn't account for those who might have left MAGA. But take a look here. Americans who identify as MAGA, in November of 2024, it was 28% of Americans. Now it's basically the same. If anything, it's slightly higher at 30%. The bottom line is this: the MAGA base within the GOP is not shrinking. It's the same size. If anything, it is slightly larger than it was back in 2024 when, of course, Donald Trump won a second term. So that 100% that Donald Trump has approval among MAGA GOP, that is not an artifact of MAGA shrinking. It's just an indication of how strong Donald Trump's grip is on that MAGA base.
You son of a bitch.
Hard to believe that they'll come out and say these things, put it on mainstream TV, and then be shot down by one of their own cohorts that they're very worried about over there at CNN with the fact that Paramount may come in and clean that house up. I certainly hope it does, if for no other reason just to piss off Jane Fonda. Because she believes, because she slept with the owner, the originator, that she should have a say-so. It's disgraceful that Hanoi Jane is even being listened to in a political situation, knowing what we know about her past. But then again, she's relying on a simple fact. The simple fact that most of the people alive today and are out in these movements don't remember what she did. But people of my age, the Vietnam age, we will never forget. So, Jane, it's in my heart for forgiveness, as I am told by my Lord, to be able to forgive the trespasses against me, and I'm forgiving you now for what you did in the past. But I want you to take very noted caution on what you have to say in this particular war, and stay the hell out of it. You've had a great acting career despite your mess up there, but enjoy that. Sit home and have caviar and champagne. You certainly can't afford it. I'm sure your opinions are falling on the ears of the people who think that you may know something. We all know, the majority of our population can figure it out on our own. Actors and actresses are just that, actors and actresses. Athletes are just athletes. They're not political commentators. They have no reason to be commentating on anything political because they don't understand it. Just like you, Jane, you don't understand it. But how the SAVE Act really works. There's a state called Oklahoma that has got their knife's edge ready. They know how to handle things, and it should become, in my estimation, a template for how the country can do this under the SAVE Act. It's pure and simple. It's not hard unless you are running around trying to protect people that you know are illegally voting and try to keep them on the voting rolls. Then you might say, oh, that won't work for me. So Democrats, all you have to do is listen to this next clip, and it will be an architectural plan for how it should be. Get this bill passed and quit fooling around with people that you are hurting. You have held this country and its people hostage twice now in the last 24 months. How long is this going to continue? How much more do people have to suffer for you to gain what you want? A vote from somebody that should not be voting. But let's take a look right here at what I would say is the new template for each and every state to adopt.
This is not challenging because it's every single time we vote, every single election in Oklahoma. It's funny to me, the number of people that come and say, how would this ever work? And I just smile and go, well, we figured it out. Everybody else knows how to be able to do this. In every election in Oklahoma, every single person who votes has to show ID. And I mean every single person who votes, in person or by mail. Our mail-in votes in Oklahoma are done when they actually show up at a spot to be able to mail in and get a notary to be able to look at their ID, to be able to take the envelope that's about to be matched, to match the name that's on the envelope and the name of the ID, and then it actually is notarized and then goes in the mail. Every person who votes in Oklahoma whether by mail or in person, has to show ID. And you know what? We have a lot of people that show up to vote. This is not challenging here. And it's the most simple, basic thing that we actually deal with when we talk about the Save America Act, this basic principle that citizens vote and you have to show ID. You can't just walk up and say, my name is John Smith, and I should be on that list somewhere. Check off, that's me. You have to actually verify that that's actually you at that point. So we know one vote for one person, and that's all they get. It's also interesting to me when I think about this most basic element, that is, you have to be a citizen to vote. And I have some of my colleagues that will go back to the 1965 Voting Rights Act. And I go, do you realize the 1965 Voting Rights Act begins with the phrase, all citizens? That's how it starts. All citizens. It was the most basic principle of that bill, began with the simple statement of all citizens. This is a simple trust and verify piece that we're trying to be able to put into place to say, we've already agreed that this should only be for citizens. We've already agreed that there should be consequences if you're not a citizen, but we're just not verifying it and checking it. Again, I have folks that have caught me and have said, well, this is just a non-issue. Non-citizens just don't vote. In Oklahoma, several years ago, we actually passed a law, a state law in Oklahoma that was pretty simple and straightforward. The state law was, if someone comes into jury duty and says before a judge, I'm not eligible to serve in jury duty, though I've been called, I'm not eligible to be able to serve because I'm not a citizen. If they say that, then by state law now, we have to check the voter roll to see if they're also registered to vote. If they are, and we have found folks that are, their name is automatically dropped from the voter roll. It's the way that we're doing it in Oklahoma, to be able to find ways to say if there's someone who is not a citizen of the United States and is in violation of the 1965 Voting Rights Act, that we are making sure their name is being purged off the voter roll, so it is only citizens of the United States that are actually voting in our elections. You know what? We still have elections. We still vote. Somehow we as Oklahomans have figured it out. So we say to the rest of the country, we do ID all the time. We check citizenship all the time on it. This is a common sense provision that we want to be able to bring to the nation that is already statutory. Let's actually just have implementing legislation with it.
Now that makes perfect sense, didn't it? But perfect sense and common sense seem to be totally missing in our Senate. Even on the right-hand side, when you look at the nonsense that Rand Paul was ranting about, and just getting Markwayne Mullins through, anything that Trump comes up with, all of a sudden now, Rand Paul's against. I at one time had great hope for him, but like I said yesterday, he had it going with Fauci and could have garnered a slot for himself in the next presidential run had he not let Fauci go fast and loose, and he's enjoying his life, as we said yesterday. So once again, there are hearings, and then no prosecutions come from anything. Why Ilhan Omar is still sitting in that seat is a magician's question, because something is not right there, and someone needs to file some charges, or at least look in to some of the things that have been associated with the conspiracy theories that are running loose and wild in this United States. But then we have a lot of conspiracy theories. But how safe acts work is, there's your template for it. So let's not get crazy on that. Let's not turn into Hakeem Jeffries one more time. And he comes out, it's pathetic that he's telling the TSA people that he's working hard to get them paid. That's a lie. And anybody in the TSA that buys off on this is probably gullible. And I've got a bridge that I could sell him. But that's in time for another story. But he's come out twice now with his story about how it is. This guy is literally a dollar store Obama. Anyone that will listen to him, they're trying to manufacture him into somebody that you could think about maybe voting for sometime down the road. Just close your eyes and listen to him, and you'll realize just what an idiot he really is. He's lucky to be in the position he's in, but in no way, shape, or form should he ever be the leader of the House or the leader of a band or running a grocery store. Better yet, a lemonade stand on the sidewalk in Brooklyn may be the place that he would excel, because he is so full of the BS that trying to convince the American people, which he uses quite frequently, oh, it's what, the American people, the American people, the American people. And now Hochul's over in New York, the American people. They don't care about the American people. We need to come to the realization that they really don't care about anybody but themselves and their program to stay in power. Why do we not have term limits? It's exactly these people that are preventing term limits and will always prevent term limits, because they have ideas of getting into the geriatric division of our Congress and have a seat there until they're 85 years old and can't speak anymore or freeze up at a microphone. This is what we get, but let's listen to Hakeem Jeffries.
Hakeem Jeffries caught in epic hypocrisy about the TSA workers.
We are gathered today on the Capitol steps in support, strong support, of paying TSA agents. And making sure that FEMA and the Coast Guard and our cybersecurity professionals who are keeping us safe are supported and can be put back on the job with pay. And so we stand here today united, understanding that the country is at a crossroads. As Democrats, we want to move America forward. Republicans are trying to turn back the clock. We're working hard to bring people together. Republicans are tearing America apart.
This is the most enormous pile of horseshit I've ever heard in my life.
Now, some cynics on the other side have said this is just for show. Right here, dude. House Democrats aren't show horses, we're workhorses. This ain't for show. This is for the American people. And it's time for Republicans to stop holding the American people hostage to their extreme immigration agenda and to put the American people first, to make life more affordable for the American people. The American people deserve better.
Still going.
We need judicial warrants before ICE agents can break into the homes of the American people. And the American people deserve doing the impossible on behalf of the American people. Rein in ICE and focus on what matters for the American people. We want to make life more affordable for the American people.
I mean, we all have moments of deja vu, but this was ridiculous.
He is unbelievable. It's unbelievable that the American public even tunes into this and listens to what he has to say. And the crowd behind him, the manufactured crowd behind him, are mostly some of his cronies from inside that help them with their illicit programs to bury a SAVE Act that will possibly save this country. You want to talk about the American people? We are the American people. We need the SAVE Act to save our country. We're not going along with the socialistic, communistic manifesto that you're all are working from in this Congress. I, for one, am sick and tired of being lied to, manipulated, and made do things that we don't want to do, and then give you money to do things that you want to do that in no way, shape, or form benefit anyone in this country. But you know what you've done, and you know that at some point in time, you will have to answer for that. So go along being unburdened by the burdens of the past, because it's coming and it's going to get you. And if not in this life, it will in the next. So tell your demons that live inside you to go back to the well of despair and stay there, because God's back in this country and we're going to make the progress we need through prayer and putting on the armor of Christ against what is wrong in this country. We see it now. The veil has been lifted. We know who you are. We know what you've done, and we know the cover-ups you employ to not let us know the full truth. When that bill was put out to release the names of the people that use tax dollars to pay off sexual victims by our people in Congress, and you voted that down, you told on each and every one of yourselves, we know now why you don't want to pass that bill, and we also know why you're holding up the SAVE Act, which needs to come to a vote and needs to be passed yesterday. Go do the job that we pay you to do, not go into the streets and sing songs, produce Hollywood-style TikToks. And for those 6 that produced the TikTok telling our troops to disobey the order from the commander-in-chief, you should not be in those seats. You should be behind bars and defrocked of any awards that you took as part of the military that you served in. That's out and out treason. But again, we have a Justice Department that did not step up, didn't want to bother being worried about that. We have bigger fish to fry. We're in a war with Iran, and we need to show solidarity here, at least among our country and our legislative branch of this country. Not try to duck and jive and get around who shot John and when did it all start. We know when it all started. It started when that first plane hit that tower in New York. Did you forget that? Because I will never forget that. You should never forget that. But that's when it started. It escalated through wars. You want to talk about wars, you can say all we want about we should never have gone into Iran. Oh, bad. It's Donald Trump. It's bad. Look what the Bushes did in Iraq. The Kuwait War, where we went to help out, was okay. Desert Storm happened, and we should have ended it there. There were ways diplomatically and other ways that we could have done, worked with Saddam Hussein. But yet we got into another war that we had to go out of with our tail between our legs because we let politicians run that war. All we have to do is let you clowns in this particular Congress, full of lying Democrats, have a hand in this Iran thing. We're going to lose another one and have our tail between our legs. Not because of a prowess of our president, but because of the lackluster ability of our Congress to sit in their seat and do the job that they were elected to do. When politicians get involved in war, you end up losing. It's pure and simple. Think about that over the weekend there, Congress. Get the SAVE Act passed. We need it. America wants it. And we don't care if your voting rolls get culled of people that should not be on them for any reason whatsoever. We gave you a template here today on the Kaiser Report on how to do it. So put your hats on, pull up your boots, go sit in your seat and get this bill passed. Debate all you want, but at the end of the day, give us a result, not more hyperbole through a microphone on the front steps of God knows where. And with that, we're going to go to our faith corner today. I, for one, really feel that I need it. But it's time to ask for forgiveness, as I talked about with Jane Fonda. And we need to forgive ourselves along with it and forgive our prideful attempts at things. This is for you, Congress. Our prideful attempts and our delve into our total impatience in when things don't happen at the exact moment that you think they should. We all have to stop, as I say every day, and listen to that higher power that is there telling us that things are okay. But we think because we're so smart that we know better than any voice in our heads that may have been planted there in our youth by God. This country was founded under God, and it should be indivisible, but the Democrats have driven a wedge there. So let's forgive them for right now in prayer, and forgive ourselves for our impatience and failures here and there.
Dear Heavenly Father, today I come before you recognizing my need for forgiveness. There are moments when my thoughts, words, and actions fall short. I thank you because your mercy is greater than my mistakes. Father, search my heart and reveal anything that separates me from your will. Cleanse me with your love. I thank you because you correct me with compassion and restore me with grace. Lord, forgive me for the times I acted in pride or impatience instead of humility. Teach me to walk in obedience. I thank you because your forgiveness brings freedom, not condemnation. Heavenly Father, help me forgive those who have hurt or disappointed me. Remove bitterness from my heart. I thank you because forgiving others brings peace within me. Father, heal emotional wounds caused by harsh words or broken trust. Replace hurt with understanding. I thank you because your love restores what pain has damaged. Lord, teach me to forgive quickly and sincerely, just as you forgive me daily. Guard my heart from holding grudges. I thank you because forgiveness strengthens relationships. Heavenly Father, help me forgive myself for past mistakes that still trouble my mind. Silence guilt and shame. I thank you because in you I am renewed. Father, restore relationships where forgiveness can bring new beginnings. Give wisdom where healing is possible. I thank you because your grace makes restoration possible. Lord, shape my heart to reflect your mercy in every situation. Let kindness replace judgment. I thank you because your love transforms my character. Heavenly Father, I surrender all guilt, pain, and bitterness into your hands today. Fill me with peace and freedom. I thank you because your forgiveness draws me closer to you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
I hope you enjoyed that prayer. It was a wonderful prayer. It fits the day. I try to bring the prayers to you that are, in a certain way, things that are happening around us all the time. And I hope you enjoy Faith's Corner here. We like to do that. We're not going to have a What Does It All Mean today or a Stupid Town, because we're going into a very holy season here, the season of Easter and Passover, where we need to stop, look, and reflect on our own lives and our own shortcomings and think about the suffering that took place in the time of Christ. Not only with Jesus Christ, but everyone who lived in that time had a very difficult time being under Roman occupation and having rules set against everything that your religion was all about, and having to be looked at by people that didn't understand your way of life or your religion. The Romans were a tough empire. We don't want to be the new Roman Empire. A lot of people will tell you on the Democratic side that we have a dictator that wants to have a Roman Empire. That's not true. If you think about it, though, we have a Congress that in some cases acts just like the times of the Roman Empire, where the Pharisees found out that someone was maybe speaking the truth somewhere, and they went all out to get one man. All they had to have were 3 witnesses against that man, and his name was Jesus of Nazareth. So the Pharisees went out of their way with every trick in the book to come up with 3 people so they could bring him to trial for spreading what they thought was false truths. Does that sound familiar? Our Congress just needs 3 witnesses to get Donald Trump. So we are in those times. And in these times, prayer will get you through. Prayer will save your soul, and it will exorcise demons in some people that need exorcism. And with that, we're going to wrap this Friday up and wish you all a very happy weekend. And as we said yesterday, if you're cooking out this weekend, don't forget Lazy J Farms and Butcher Shop. Hi, everyone. It's John from the Kaiser Report. I want to talk to you about our sponsor here, Lazy J Farms and Butcher Shop, who has a unique brand of cattle that they raise on their farm here in East Tennessee. It's called the Blonde Aquitaine cattle, and it's one of the finest cuts of meat and tastiest cuts of meat that you've ever tasted in the beef products that are available to you today. But unlike the beef products that are available at your grocery store, you can get these cuts made specialty for you in any thickness that you would like your steaks cut in, or your fillets done in 8, 10, 12 ounces. You call it in, and they will cut it for you. It's like going to your grandfather's butcher shop one more time, as you did in some cases as a child, or your parents did at least, until the advent of the major grocery store chains. But if you'd like to, you can call and get their entire menu of products available. They have beautiful pork products. They have all natural chicken that are great tasting chicken. And there's no antibiotics or growth hormones used on this farm. You're getting pure natural products, especially when it comes to chicken. That's very important. So you can call them down there at 423-398-5595. That's 423-398-5595. You can ask for anybody down there to get you a menu or talk to you about the boxes that they have of assorted meats that you can have shipped to your door if you're not local. But if you are local, you can find them at 2204 Bloomingdale Road, and that's in Kingsport, Tennessee, and that is their butcher shop. And when you go in, it's like falling back in time to a time where you could go in, talk to your butcher, and have a cut of meat that you can take home and be proud of. So give them a call down there and ask them for their gift box ideas or just place an order. You can get there and place your orders on Wednesday. They are open Thursday, Friday, and Saturday for you to pick it up or visit the butcher shop there. So again, that's 423-398-5595. And don't forget to tell them that Kaiser sent you. They'll take good care of you. So with that, we're going to wish you a great weekend. God bless you all, and stay safe, stay strong, and stay tuned here to the Kaiser Report for more commentary and a look-see at what actually takes place in the land of the Twilight Zone called Congress. Bye-bye. God bless you all.